Hello everyone, welcome to Lukman IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 18th March 2021. So let us see which are the important articles in today's The Hindu newspaper. Yes, these are the important articles in today's The Hindu newspaper. For mains purpose and for prelims purpose we have segregated them. Let us take overview first of all these articles. First, for mains related articles, looking beyond privatization. So on op-ed page, the writer here is discussing the proposal, budgetary proposal this year about the privatization of public sector banks, PSBs. Okay, so the writer is of the view that it is not pinnacle for, or we can say privatization of PSBs is not pinnacle for the improving health of banking sector. So it is talking about some of the significance of PSBs, and then it is talking about the concerns related to privatization and way forward it is. So from GS3 paper economy part we can expect such kind of question. Allaying concerns, so it is again the follow up to COVID-19 vaccination program and how vaccine hesitancy and different kinds of, let's say, side effects that have been observed throughout the world after COVID-19 vaccination, especially AstraZeneca and blood clotting events in some of the European countries. So it is talking about that, and yes, some concerns in India. Okay, so as a follow up to COVID-19 vaccination program, we are going to understand all these concerns here. And lastly, a Gandhian route in Myanmar. So we know that recently from 1st February 2021, there was military coup in Myanmar, and how the people are protesting against this military junta in Myanmar, and they are adopting non-violent Gandhian route here. So significance of Gandhian values, principles in 21st century, we can expect such kind of question in ethics paper GS4 as well as essay topic. So from that perspective we are going to discuss this topic. Specifically for prelims related articles, appropriation bill gets nod of Lok Sabha. So what do you mean by appropriation bill and how it is passed in the parliament? So from prelims polity part we have to understand that. Then quick decisive steps required to curb second peak, says Prime Minister. So there was recently a conversation or meeting of Prime Minister with chief ministers of the states, and he has asked the chief ministers of the states to take urgent steps to avoid any second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. Right, so let us go now in details of all these articles. First, looking beyond privatization. So as the name suggests, it is talking about privatization of public sector banks. Privatization of public sector banks. So the proposal in Union Budget 2021 this year, Finance Minister has proposed for privatization of public sector banks, and the one of the reason or motive for that is being said that for efficiency of public sector banks. You need to know what is the reason given by government for the or advocating privatization of public sector banks. Efficiency. Now it is being said that the public sector banks are less efficient as compared to private sector banks, and for that matter it should be privatized to bring the professionalism, efficiency, and we can understand then the health of public sector banks or these banks will improve. This is the argument provided by government. However, the writer here is providing some counter arguments for privatization of public sector banks. But before going into that, let us try to understand the significance of these public sector banks. How public sector banks have helped country, or we can say Indian economy, to grow at such larger rate. So before the nationalization of banks, major banks were the private banks, and these private banks only catered to rich people, and poor people of the country did not have access to the credit or banking services per se. So after this privatization of 14 banks in 1969 followed by 6 more in 1980, 20 banks were nationalized, and now after nationalization of these banks, many such fruits of banking services were received by poor people, common man in the country, and at the same time it fueled the economic growth in the country. How? Through various, we can say, services. First and foremost is that it had helped for the access of credit to the agriculture sector and such other priority sectors through priority sector lending norms put forward by RBI for this public sector banks. Now this was very important initiative to improve the access to the credit, especially to the marginalized sections like farmers in agriculture sector or landless rural laborers, or if we are talking about the cottage industry, many such let's say poor people received the access to the credit through this priority sector lending norms. Now they have also helped to promote the agricultural growth by agriculture loans. So we can understand the green revolution and the white revolution and all these revolution in agriculture sectors. To some extent the credit goes to these public sector banks, the credit provided by these banks. In addition to this, one of the important significance is that it reduced the dependence on money lenders in rural regions. So we can understand that largely in rural areas the access to credit through these banks was not there earlier, but through these public sector banks it increased because the spread of branches in rural areas increased, and therefore the people living in rural area now less dependent on money lenders. These money lenders had some kind of abstract nature of putting interest at higher rate, and therefore there is some kind of harassment going on of rural populace, poor people especially. So this has reduced now because of public sector banks. And lastly but not least, it has helped for infrastructure development and agriculture growth and promoting equitable regional growth. So these objectives were met, the welfare state objectives of the government were met because of these public sector banks. To some extent we can understand that because it had some public service motive. So this public service motive was put ahead or above of efficiency, and for that matter we can understand now the health of these public sector banks has reduced or has become poor, weakened, and for that matter the government is proposing privatization of banks, public sector banks. Now what are the concerns associated with this privatization of public sector banks? First and foremost is that there can be cartelization or monopolization of these banks, because the private sector there can be, let's say, buying of all the stakes in these public sector banks by one particular, let's say, private company or person also. Okay, corporate monopoly and cartelization. Next is it can lead to denial of convenient and economical banking services to the common man. Why? Because as we can see, the private banks largely still now also cater to rich people, corporate sector rather than common man. If you go to the private sector bank or its branch, you can see how the people or those let's say those banks which are having the trusted customers or rich people, corporate, let's say, company owners, they are very well catered. The service is satisfactorily provided by these private banks and not to the common man, especially if we are talking about the poor people, because these private banks have sole motive of profit. They have sole motive of profit and not, we can say, focus on public service or providing service, banking services to the common people, right? So for that matter this may lead to denial of services, banking services to the common man. So these are the, let's say, fallouts for let's say privatization of public sector banks. So that's why we can understand that there are some problems at present with public sector banks. What are those problems? Yes, problems of NPAs, non-performing assets, right? So however, this is not the solution for NPAs. Okay, so rather the way forward here provided by the writer is that stringent measures are required to recover large corporate stressed assets. Okay, and for that matter, measures such as strong recovery laws, first, and second, taking criminal actions against willful defaulters. So willful defaulters, corporate willful defaulters, they should be tagged as criminal, it should be criminal offense, there should be criminal actions against them. Okay, for that matter, this will help to reduce NPS. And the next measure that is required here is that to improve the efficiency in public sector banks, those who are executives, top executives of these banks, their appointment, their transfers should be let's say very important. The procedure that is followed here across the country, that should be improved for improving accountability. System to examine top executives. So accountability of these top executives is very important, and then they will ensure the efficiency in these public sector banks. Okay, so there can be question, do you think that privatization of public sector banks is pinnacle for all the woes, or we can say problems faced by public sector banking in India? Okay, so justify your view. Such kind of question we can expect in GS3 paper, Indian economy part. Fine. Moving on to next article, allaying concerns. So the context here is the concerns regarding vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines throughout the world, including India. So what are the concerns at present regarding the COVID-19 vaccine? First and foremost is the cases of blood clotting that have been observed in some of the European countries, and later on the European, let's say World Health Organization and European Medicine Agency has come up with the finding that there is no link between this AstraZeneca vaccine and blood clotting. Okay, so yes, underline that there is no causal link between vaccines and occurrence of such blood clot. Okay, so this was one concern, and surely whatever the problems that have been observed in European countries, the other countries like India will be also cautious about that, because yes, one country and its clinical trials that happened in that country, surely the other country take inputs from that. As we know that whatever the clinical trials of this AstraZeneca vaccine happened in UK, the results after that clinical trials were directly adopted and it got emergency use approval in India by regulatory authorities, right? Covishield, that is produced the AstraZeneca vaccine in India, right? Now what are the concerns in India? Concerns in India associated with vaccines is lack of transparency and prompt data sharing, thereby not able to build a strong public trust in the vaccines. Okay, so whatever the let's say side effects of all these vaccines that are there, they should be transparently conveyed to the people, right? So such kind of transparency is not there, and this data sharing is also not there, because you can understand here, no information by National Committee on Adverse Event following immunization. Now there is this National Committee on Adverse Event following immunization, but it has not shared any significant data in the public regarding any such side effects after immunization in India. Okay, so this reduces the public trust in vaccines. If it would have been sharing on the continuous basis such data with the people, people will come forward and take this vaccine. Okay, so yes, surely we can say that public trust is key ingredient to successful vaccination programs, and this can be only ensured or earned by the government's zealous attention to allaying concerns. So this should be the focus of the government when we talk about effective vaccination program, vaccine delivery program, we can say that. Fine. So as a follow-up to COVID-19 vaccination program, you can mention all these points. A Gandhian route in Myanmar. Yes, from ethics GS4 paper and essay topic. Now what kind of let's say essay topic we can expect here from this topic? You can see here as a relevance of Mahatma Gandhi in 21st century world. So such kind of broad topic we can expect. Actually we were expecting that topic in 2019 itself, after let's say 150 we were celebrating 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. However, yes, surely UPSC is always let's say, or it goes against the kind of predictions that we do in the mainstream UPSC preparation now. So yes, in future surely we can expect such kind of question, as many such events are going on throughout the world. So what is going on in Myanmar? Let us try to understand how protesters in Myanmar are adopting Gandhian principles. So yes, military coup on 1st February 2021 in Myanmar happened, and yes, after that the people are protesting against this military rule and wants the democratic setup back in the country. These protests are still not violent. They are doing these protests in the non-violent way, despite of the kind of violence that is being done by the military in the Myanmar. Okay, so we can understand there is some kind of adoption of Gandhian principles of truth and non-violence are still relevant in 21st century also. Now, why Gandhiji during freedom struggle chose spinning wheel as symbol for idea of non-violence? It represented two messages during that time. Okay, what were two messages? First is that the spinning wheel, the khadi, or we can say as indigenous industry for textile industry here, that was being continuously replaced by industrialization. Okay, so the growing industrialization, as against to that, the spinning wheel was considered as instrument to protest against this growing industrialization. The second is, it is the symbol of resistance to British made clothes that had replaced Indian handmade clothes. So this is how Gandhiji chose this spinning wheel as the instrument, or we can say that as a symbol for his idea of non-violence. A similar kind of, let's say, Gandhian ideology follower in US, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. turned to the symbol of American dream as a hope of social justice and equity for every member of American society. And now the Myanmar people, they are having this three-fingered salute that was adopted by activists in Thailand, has become the strong symbol of resistance for democracy in Myanmar. So such kind of symbol which is directly relevant to non-violence principle of Gandhiji. Okay, and this is being used by the Myanmar people, Myanmaris, for protesting against the military rule. Now Gandhiji has always brought ethics in politics. Okay, so according to him, one of the 7 sins is ethics without, politics without principles. Politics without principles. There are 7 sins like commerce without morality, or we can say this one, politics without principles. So such kind of, let's say, Gandhiji considered that ethics is essential part of politics. He always brought ethics in politics, and therefore we can understand that this non-violence, peaceful way of protest is part of ethics, and he brought this element of ethics in politics. Okay, his way of dealing with the politics, this non-violence and satyagraha, so this is nothing but part of ethics, and he brought this ethics in politics. So yes, from ethics paper GS4 you can understand that ethics in politics in India also, there can be, we can expect such kind of question, whether there is any ethics left in Indian politics. Do you give your opinion or justify your opinion? Such kind of question is expected. So surely you can give the reference to Gandhiji here. Okay, so political morality, a part of syllabus in GS4. Political morality. Okay, so from that syllabus point we can expect question here, right? So Mahatma Gandhi and his relevance in 21st century. One of the example you can give this: Myanmar people protesting with non-violent way or Gandhian way. Fine. Okay. Now specifically talking about prelims related articles in today's The Hindu newspaper is appropriation bill gets nod of Lok Sabha. Now what is this appropriation bill? Now we know that at present the budget session is going on, and in this budget session the finance bill is let's say proposed, and the appropriation bill is passed. Now what is this appropriation bill? As we know that in our Indian constitution there is provision that no money can be taken out of consolidated fund of India except with the approval of Parliament. Okay, so that approval is given by Parliament through this appropriation bill. Okay, so basically the appropriation bill is a money bill that is used for, let's say, withdrawing the money from consolidated fund of India for complete financial year, for expenditure of government for complete financial year. Okay, so yes, it is money bill that allows government to withdraw funds from consolidated fund of India to meet expenses during course of financial year. Now what is the difference between finance bill and appropriation bill? Finance bill is basically, it is having the provisions of where the government is going to, let's say, have the revenue and expenditure. That means it is talking about the provisions on financing the expenditure of the government, financing the expenditure, that is from where the revenue is going to come, that is finance bill. While the appropriation bill will say that for what purpose they are going to use this money and the quantum of that money, okay, for withdrawing from consolidated fund of India. Now how this appropriation bill is passed by, in the Parliament? So this is always introduced in lower house of the Parliament, that is Lok Sabha, by the government. Okay, after introduction it is passed by the Lok Sabha and then sent to Rajya Sabha for, let's say, its accent. Now Rajya Sabha has, or we can say it can recommend the amendments to the bill or cannot, or we can say may not. However, Lok Sabha has the final say in accepting or denying these recommendations that are given by Rajya Sabha to this appropriation bill. Now unique feature of this appropriation bill is that the Appropriation Act gets repealed by itself after it meets the statutory purpose of this bill. Okay, so it is self-repealing act. That means the unique feature here is that it has the we can say self-repealing provision here in itself. Okay, so these are the important or salient features. Also you need to know that the appropriation bill, there cannot be any amendment. No amendment can be done which substantially changes the provisions or fiscal provisions of this money withdrawing from the consolidated fund of India. Okay, so such kind of amendments can be done to finance bill but not to appropriation bill. Now there is one more concept, that is vote on account. Now you can see that this appropriation bill is passed after some time period. However, the government also needs some of the expenditure or expenses to be done from let's say 1 or 2 months till this appropriation bill is passed. Okay, and for that matter, that particular amount is already approved by the parliament after, let's say, voting on this vote on account, and this amount can be, let's say, up to 1/6 of total, let's say, provisions of this appropriation bill, and maximum for 2 months, maximum for 2 months, right? So this is called as vote on account, and then appropriation bill for one complete financial year. Okay, so these are some important concepts in the budgetary let's say provisions or budget passing process in the parliament, appropriation bill. So such kind of practice prelims MCQ we can deal here regarding appropriation bill. Yes, it is money bill. Yes, just now we talked about this. It is money bill. It allows the government to withdraw funds from Consolidated Fund of India. Yes, it is correct. It can be only introduced in Lok Sabha. Yes, this is also correct. Rajya Sabha has powers to amend the appropriation bill. No, Rajya Sabha can only recommend, not amend directly. Okay, it can recommend the amendments. However, it cannot directly amend the appropriation bill. So that's why the answer is 1, 2, 3. So yes, basics again you can learn about is regarding money bill and the financial bills of type 1 and type 2. Money bill, article number 110 of Indian Constitution. Okay, so sometimes later on whenever it is in news, we'll also discuss the difference between money bill, financial type of type 1 bill, financial bill type 2. Fine. Now, yes, quick decisive steps required to curb second peak, says Prime Minister. So there was one meeting yesterday between Prime Minister and Chief Ministers of the states. So the Prime Minister has urged the Chief Ministers to take urgent quick steps to avoid the second wave. Already in Maharashtra it is being said that the second wave of this COVID-19 pandemic has arrived. We can see the kind of trend we are observing in the cases, number of cases increasing in the states. So that's why the quick steps are required. He also asked to have states to follow up on sending samples for genome testing to track various variants of this virus. Then he also stressed to be serious about this 3T formula: test, track and treat. Test, track and treat. So here track को हम trace भी बोल सकते हैं. Trace, track, treat. Okay, so 3 formula is very important, and the number of tests, RT-PCR test rate should be above 70%. He has asked the states. At the same time, he also warned the states about the wastage of vaccines, cautioned against the wastage of vaccines, and asked chief ministers to monitor these vaccine doses daily. Okay, so such important, let's say, steps that are being asked by the central government, Prime Minister, to state governments here. Okay, as a follow-up to COVID-19, yes, we will have follow further in future how the number of cases now increase in next time. Now, important captions and quotations from that particular article which talks about this Myanmar coup or the Gandhian principles of non-violence being followed by the protesters. It is not the power that corrupts but fear. It is the statement by Aung San Suu Kyi, Nobel Peace Prize winner and leader in Myanmar. Okay, so it is not power that corrupts but fear. Fear of losing power corrupts those who wield it, and fear of the scourge of power corrupts those who are subject to it. So yes, this is the reality we can understand, and such kind of statement can be asked in your GS4 paper directly, statement based questions in ethics paper. Now Gandhian philosophy of ethics in politics. I have always derived my politics from ethics or religion, or my strength is also derived by my deriving my politics from ethics. It is also because I swear by ethics and religion that I find myself in politics. A person who is lover of his country is bound to take a lively interest in politics, as per Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, so you need to know that how he made ethics as an essential element of politics. Fine. So these were important articles from today's द हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर. अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो इसको लाइक कीजिए, कमेंट करके हमें बताइए आपका फीडबैक, और इसको शेयर कीजिए आपके फ्रेंड्स के साथ, और साथ में सब्सक्राइब कीजिए लुकमान IAS चैनल को. For further information on editorial discussion classes or ED classes wherein in-depth analysis of mains related issues and articles is done by Ansari sir and team, you can contact Lukman IAS. Thank you.